Hello and welcome back to the Rad Nauseam YouTube channel. Today we've got for you our weekly roundup featuring the people who haven't had enough of Highlander following the Bazaar's event to end all events. Before we kick off, if you haven't already, please like our video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Nathan and today I'm joined by Nick, aka Capers. What have you got for us today, buddy?
We got a lot. You're certainly right. Despite pretty much all of Australia's Highlander players congregating to play at the event to end all events, still we have a bunch of events afterwards to cover. So people can't get enough of Highlander. So let's start over in Sydney for Good Games Chatswood. Our 3-0 was the classic, the Orzhov Taxes. And then in our 2-1 slot, we had Grixis, 4-color Breach with no green. Very interesting. Mono Blue Tron and Rakdos Madness. No green in Breach. That's white Breach. Interesting.
I think that's just like Lewis Breach has had no green. It's been playing like white because you need like all the Jeskai to do the Breach combo, and then black gives you access to all of the busted mid-range threats. So I think like the non-Lewis Breach, it's very strong still. But I think if you ask the Lewis Breach mains, I'll tell you that the deck is worse because you're just playing like a worse version of Grixis with the combo, and having no access to Lurus means that your like access for the Breach combos sort of consistency, if it gets interacted with, sort of like you lose out there. But it's still a good deck.
Yep.
And I'm glad that we're calling it Black and White Taxes now and not whatever the hell.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. Yeah. I've cracked down on these naming conventions. Every time someone sends me one, I'm just like updating the name. I've had enough. I don't want to hear it. I had some hot and sweaty stuff coming in earlier. Like,
what are we doing?
What are we doing? But Breach is a very powerful spell, and an interesting discussion to be had after our upcoming points update on whether or not Breach is going to shoot up to the best deck. But we'll see what happens. Let's jump over to Chromatic Games. So still in Sydney. And once again, Orzhov takes out the 4-0. We have Soul Legends this time. So I imagine it's, your Guide of Souls and Solstice effects with some life gain stuff maybe. And then just a bunch of Legends. I think we got, a few of those in Bloomborough as well. So that's cool. And then 3-1 we had Lotus Storm. That's Jazza playing Storm. Probably one final send before it gets a point or two or three. Mono White Taxes, Esper, Nadu, and what is that? Aang walks? The hell?
Aang walks, yeah, it's the new hotness. But before we get to that, I think like the Black and White Soul Legends is there's not a lot of white Soul Legends, but there are a lot of black Soul Legends. James Brown, Otis Redding, Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye.
Before color TV, of course, so it's black and white.
Yeah, true. Aang walks. It's sweet. It's the new hotness. I think we may be seeing a bit more of this Aang walks deck kicking around.
Yeah,
it's an interesting take, and I'm very excited for the list. Bant Nadu, Esper, Mono White,
always good. I also want to call out Ed on the Azorius, I've named it Azorius Astrid-Peth artifacts, because they're playing Astrid-Peth in an artifacts deck. It's so sick. Shout out to Ed, who was the only other person in the room at the event to end all events to register an Astrid-Peth. My respect for you is so high. So shout out to Ed. Pretty cool meta. I think if you tune into this video for a little bit longer, we might even take a look at Aang walks, but that's I don't want to spoil anything. So let's move over to Wollongong. And it looks like a naming convention has snuck through. So I got some
quality control. We're having a word with.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a word with
that department.
With Ariel, who gave us the results. Moist Naya tokens. Interesting. I believe we have names.
Like the token box got a bit of Coke Zero spilled in it or something. Yeah.
We have a name for this. It's Ink Treader. No one knows their 4-color names. Shake my head. In 3-1 we had 5-color walks, and once again, Azorius control player has pulled out of the event early and then has been replaced by the 8-point Delver player who came in and continued the win streak. And then Jund taking out the 3-1 as well. And some pretty fun names as well in the 2-2 slot. Zombies. I think it's zombies with red, maybe? I'm just guessing here. No red beans. 8-point Esper Yorion and 8-point Bandpod. What is happening in Wollongong?
I don't know. Whatever they're on, I want to be on it.
Yeah. Zombies.
This is Zombies.
Zombies. That's we have a name for that deck. It's Machine Head. Come on, Ariel.
Yeah, look, pre-modern. I don't know.
Shout out pre-modern for real.
I want to know what no red beans are.
It's
Red beans are great.
I'm not a fan of red beans. So I'm glad no red beans. Probably 4-color up the beanstalk deck. Or someone had Mexican beforehand, and I don't know.
But that's yeah, fair enough. No red beans in Mexican.
Yep. All right, let's jump over to Plenty of Games' monthly event. We had quite a lot of blue-red base decks. In our top 8, we had Is It Prowess, 8-point Flood Moon, Rug, and then we had our own Billy on Golgari Lands making a top 4 appearance. And then we had Jeskai Control, Storm, Junk, and Grixis Flood Moon. And taking out the win was, of course, Chifley on Is It Prowess. Congrats to Chifley for taking down a whole monthly. And Is It Prowess, a strong deck still.
And shout out Freya for their first top 8 appearance, coming second at the event.
Yeah, very cool.
To some pretty sweet heads-up play from Chifley. Had a really cool line of killing his own Dragon Raiders channeler with a flashback spell to kill it, and deny the lifelink from the Barrogoyf, and then swing in for lethal the following turn.
Yeah, very cool. I'm sad we didn't get that game on coverage, but still a great way to win a monthly event, and Chifley must be feeling pretty chuffed about taking down an event. So congrats again to Chifley. Let's stick around in Melbourne for yet another event. This was our Maze Winner Box. This was the week prior, but we did want to cover it. Our top 8, we only have 6 of the competitors in the top 8. So that was Storm, Aang Walks, coming second, Jund, Flash Nadu, Deadpool Walks, and Grixis. And the winner was none other than Tom on Storm. So another win for Storm?
Yeah, just get in your equity while you can. Like, if you're gonna not be able to play with your $20,000 Magic card, you may as well win a $200 box on your way out. Let's try and recoup some of that cost.
Yeah, that's stonks, I believe we call that one in the business. But Aang Walks, Nathan. What is it time to talk about Aang Walks? Is this it?
I don't know. Maybe it could be time to talk about Aang Walks. We're not going to talk about Deadpool Walks.
No,
that's old. That's old tech.
It's on the way out. Even Plagon Walks is looking a bit old, a bit dusty recently. Let's look at the newest variation of Walks. This was our very own JD playing Aang Walks. This is a deck that both myself and JD have been working on for a little bit, and I think it's really cool. It uses both Aang at the Crossroads, who is a creature that is essentially a... What's the card name, Nathan? Collector Company.
Collector Company.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a Collector Company on a body that also flips into a 4/4 flying creature that also makes a bunch of more creatures, which is very cool. And then we have Aang Swift Savior, which is also the new hotness. This Aang allows you to airbend another creature or spell, which can be your opponent's stuff or even your own stuff, to kind of buy back those multiple ETBs. This is a Badger Mold Cub deck as well. It's a Ocelot Pride, Guide of Souls deck that utilizes a pretty powerful land that not enough people are registering these days, which is Gaia's Cradle. That's right, this is also a Gaia's Cradle deck. We're very greedy, we're dipping in on all these really cool cards, and I do want to shout out as well, Airbender's Ascension. This is another cool card from Avatar that has found quite an interesting home in Walks as a way to kind of get back a bunch of ETBs from your creatures and kind of blink something every turn. It's a very cool effect, and in a deck like this with Ocelot Pride and Voice of Victory and Spring Heart and MTGO, it kind of comes online almost straight away, allowing you to just get a bunch of ETBs and churn through most of your deck, just outvalue your opponent. So yeah, Aang Walks, very cool. And congrats to JD on second. Nathan, as our resident Walks expert, tell me about this deck. What do you think?
I think it's super interesting. The Avatar cards have sort of given us a fresh lease on the deck. And with the upcoming points for like potentially Deadpool, potentially Barragoyf, these sort of cards that would normally be in the black version of the deck, you sort of play a little bit leaner on the colors. Storm potentially getting a couple of points means that you don't necessarily need to jam your deck full of hand attack spells to try and live to turn 2. So you get to play a more synergy based deck and less of a good stuff based deck. The Airbender's Ascension is kind of cool because you get to like either tempo someone or turn your enchantment into sort of a 2-for-1 again, or an infinite for 1 if you're able to turn it on. It's kind of like Soul Herder that they can't kill as easily. Yeah, it's sweet. The deck's a lot of fun. This version is very different from the Bant version that I've been playing. But I like the approach with the Guy's Cradle, Voice of Victory, Guide of Souls sort of stuff. It gives you a kind of more generically powerful turn 1, 2, 3 play, whereas the black version likes to play a bit longer. So yeah, it's just an interesting take on the deck, and I look forward to seeing further iterations from you guys.
Yeah, it's very cool. I'm very excited to sleeve this up at some point and play it now that I own a Time Walk. So very cool. And shout out to JD for continuing to play and work on this deck. Very cool.
Yeah, I really like the Badgermole Cub from Avatar. I think this card is one of the strongest additions that Walks has had recently. Like obviously you've got your Quantum Riddler and stuff to make your top end, but like the top end of Walks has never really struggled, but the having access to like the 5th Dork in Badgermole Cub that can sort of secure additional land drops if you don't have Dorks in play, or a need, like if you think your Badgermole Cub's going to die pretty quickly, you can just like get a second fetch. But if it does live, you're able to turn like any hand that's got a Dork and then a Badgermole Cub, and then any tutor into like a turn 3 win, which the deck wasn't necessarily able to do unless you had 3 Dorks in your opening hand or the combo naturally. So another more consistent angle to combo killing is gonna definitely rustle a few jimmies when this deck starts to pick up steam in the broader community.
Yeah, I agree. I think once we see some pointings to, kind of the natural predators of this deck, which would probably be like Storm, which JD actually did lose to in the finals. I think we might be seeing a bit more of Bant Walks, and Badgermole Club is a very cool card for Avatar. I just love seeing Avatar cards. Like this set has been really good for our whole format. I've seen like some Rakdos decks playing the new Xiao the Moonslayer, and we have Badgermole Club showing up everywhere. Control decks are playing Aang, the 3-mana Aang. So yeah, Avatar has been a very good set for our format.
Yeah, and don't forget the Wan Shi Tong that everyone's crazy about. Would like to see some more results from that card. Haven't seen it really pop off yet. The decks that can really utilize it aren't very strong in the meta right now. I mean, like obviously it's fine in Grixis, but the decks that really want this sort of 6 mana end of your turn threat don't really live very long. So it's good to see, and very excited for more brews using the Avatar cards because I think they're very flavorful, very interesting.
Agreed. All right, let's move over to Western Australia for Good Games Morley. Our 4-0 was Junt. Our 3-1 was Flash, Brushland Bots, Mono Black Prison, and Grixis Seafood. We're going to take a look at that deck very shortly, but let's continue with 4 Color Blokes and Grixis. And in our 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw slot, we had Grixis and Oath and Tell. Also a really cool deck there in 2-2 was Balance Kitten Combo. And Fish showing up as well. 2 very cool decks in the 2-2 slots. But Grixis Seafood Wizards. What is Grixis Seafood?
It looks to me just like a Grixis Wizards list. I played a bit of Moon Wizards recently, and the deck was very sweet. You get to play Plagon, and the step through to sort of find a bit of late game value, but this deck seems to have given up on the Moon game plan to have a very sweet combo kill, which also is sort of like, I guess, a bit synergistic with what it's trying to do, in that it's going to churn through its deck. It's got Step Through already for Plagon, which the Moon Wizards deck did. It gets to play Spellseeker, Tameo. Yeah, it looks super sweet. Tameo plus Plagon is such a cool combo, and Harmonic Prodigy plus Plagon is sweet. Like, you get to play a more sort of control-y deck that has the ability to just draw a bunch of cards out of nowhere and bury your opponent. Would like to see more of this deck. It's actually, like, I might even sleeve this thing up, because I love Thoracle. It's what I got into the format playing, and I love Plagon. So, be interested to see if this deck still functions after the pointings. But yeah, Dreadhorde Arcanist is also a sweet card. But yeah, Step Through, being able to, like, end of turn find a Plagon or a Spellseeker or a Thoracle or a Tameo, just like whatever kind of angle you're trying to approach the game from, seems very versatile. But yeah, and the black cards are so powerful. Like, trade off a creature early and unearth it. Being able to hand attack. Yeah. Deadpool in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Not sure if I'd play that in the sideboard, but it having access to that card is just very, very strong. So yeah, this is a cool list.
Agreed. It's funny that, I did a quick look of all of the creatures, and incidentally, like, almost all of them are just like Plagon enablers and also wizards. And they're also all creatures that you would see in a wizard's deck. Harmonic Prodigy, Tameo, Thundertrap Trainer, Plagon, Pyrogoyf, Barragoyf, all of these cards are generically powerful, and incidentally, if Plagon is put into play, it's going to draw you a bunch of cards and kind of dig you to your Thoracle, or just bury your opponent in card advantage. So, very cool take on the Wizards deck. Maybe this is
Dark Confidant is letting a team down on the power greater than toughness thing.
Yeah, agreed. What year is it? Dark Confidant. But yeah, cool deck. Shout out to Grixis Seafood, big fan. Sticking around in Western Australia, we have a Mega Games Mandra. Our 3-0 was 4-color mid-range, no blue, and our 2-1s were Jund, Grixis, and also Taxes. Pretty stock standard positive results there, Nathan?
Yeah, don't see anything strange here. Yeah, 4-color mid-range, no blue is seen a little bit like the bright Jund or whatever it is, or
we have a name for it, mate. It was Hot and Moldy Orzhov.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
God.
the deck.
Okay, wait, never mind. I take it all back. This is very peculiar that a Hot and Moldy Orzhov deck managed to go 3-0.
Why is that peculiar?
Very big outlier here. If only there was a food mid-range deck to put it in its place.
Yes, food mid-range. What a deck. What a deck. Don't worry, we'll have some more food mid-range reporting on the way. Now let's jump down to South Australia, which is a place we don't get many results from. So if you're from WA, please continue sending us results, because we love Southern Australia. Sorry, I almost got it wrong. How bad? In our top 8, we had Rakdos Eclipse, Golgari midrange, Jeskai Time Vault, Golgari Lance, Mardu midrange. Yes, you are seeing correct. 4-color elves, Bant Nadu, and Paradox Engine, and Russell was able to take out the win with Jeskai Time Vault. Nathan, a lot of artifact decks here showing up. 2 artifact decks in the top 8, sorry, which is a lot. I feel like there's a couple of Tezzerets around.
Yeah, Tezzeret, notably 0 points at the moment, may not be after the weekend. But yeah, that card is very strong. Shout out Time Vault. And yeah, 4-color elves. I think they should just put the 5th color in so that they can play like Morophon.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's a good one. Commander players, they'll know what we're talking about. That card owns.
Yeah, Mardu midrange, Golgari lands. Yeah, they're all pretty standard decks that you'd expect to see. It's a very diverse field, which is cool.
Yeah, very diverse. Yeah, another top 8 for Golgari lands. Tick. +1 to Billy's collection. Congratulations again to Russell for the W on Jeskai Time Vault. I'm very happy to see Time Vault win. I did get completely smashed by it at the event to end all events, so the deck is still very strong, and I'm glad that it's gotten at least a little bit of a new lease on life with the printing of Tezzeret. But they may have to pay the piper soon. Who knows what's going to happen with the pointings. But speaking of pointings, our own committee member Volty, as you would know, is running Volty's Fight Night, and we had 14 players in the last one, which is fantastic. Our winner was Rakdos Stuff, and the field was Azorius midrange, Jeskai midrange, Blue Moon, Aang Walks again, shout out JD for the 3-1, Esper, Flash Nadu, Dredge, and Mono Red, as well as a few other deck lists I wasn't able to get. But this Rakdos Stuff deck, Nathan, was very interesting. It was also kind of a Rakdos Pingers deck, just a bunch of creatures like, you know, your scrolling crawlers and your pinging creatures like the Razorkin Needlehead. Yeah, a bunch of grizzly bears that deal damage to the opponent, just attacking and being extremely disruptive. And the new Zhao the Moonslayer, so another avatar card in that deck as well. Very cool.
Yeah, I wonder why Jordan's not playing this instead of Grixis or whatever nonsense he's been playing. He should be doubling down. Rakdos Stuff, I love that. Yeah, it's like aggressive decks, I guess, are kind of not really in vogue at the moment. So seeing something like this, putting up some results could be interesting. Would be nice to have, I guess, a broader archetype diversity in the format.
Yeah, agreed. If you'd like to check out the rest of our content, feel free to give us a subscribe on our YouTube channel and just give this video a like as well. It does help us a lot. We're actually nearing both 50 videos and 300 subscribers, which is very, very cool. And as you can see, we also have a Twitch channel now. That's right, we did have our very first stream yesterday. Nathan and I, we did a Vintage Cube, talked a lot of shit, and watched some live Highlander games. So yeah, probably looking to do, you know, maybe like a weekly stream or something. So definitely jump onto our Discord and give us a, you know, keep an eye on that content channel for when we jump into our live streams, or jump on Twitch and give us a follow. It does help us a lot. And yeah, very, very cool that we're able to do this now. And lastly, I want to give a big shout out to everybody on the screen currently. Because of everybody on here, we're able to do this every single week. We did have a lot of results coming in from every state in Australia, and everybody here has been a big help for us over the last few months, especially, you know, leading up to the event to end all events. It was a big group effort to get all these results down. So shout out to everyone there, and yeah, we appreciate you watching this week, and we'll see you again next week.